podcast. My name is Alexei, and today I want to talk about creating a better marketing message or enhancing your current one. I get asked this a lot in relation to people wanting to build better websites, create ads, and overall be able to sort of drive customers. I find that overall there's quite a process that you can follow, and really it doesn't have to be rocket science. You can really keep it quite simple. But the whole thing really is going to start with understanding who your target market is. If you understand who your audience is and who the message is for, you can really tailor it specifically to them. What you really need to consider, though, is things like, what are their wants, fears, and frustrations? What is it that these people are specifically after? When people buy a service, they don't specifically buy a service per se. They actually pay for the outcome that they receive. So it's really about the change that you create by providing your service. So if you can really focus on the audience and tailor a message to that, and focus on things like benefits rather than features, you can basically make yourself stand out. What I've found over the years is that a lot of the people typically try to sort of align their message with what their competitors are trying to do, and as a result, especially in search engine marketing using things like Google Ads, you'll find that your message really becomes quite ineffective. Now, I think that there are a few things, and in fact, there's a bit of a formula that I like to use that makes things really quite easy. We call this formula the AQUA principle, and you can find this on our website. And the AQUA is spelled ACUA, which stands for availability, convenience, utility, and affordability. Now, if you are to include these four factors within your ad copy, knowing your target market, you can do a lot better than your competitors, because a lot of the time, things like how fast can you deliver the service really reflects on the availability. So if you offer, same-day service or same-day quote, it is quite a big selling point. Then from there, it's about convenience. How convenient do you make your service? And is there something about your service that makes things easier for the customer? So, for example, if you're a busy business in the middle of the city, for example, and parking is an issue, including parking, or at least creating some, guidance as to where people can park, really creates a lot of convenience and then becomes a selling point as well. Utility is one of the things that really makes you stand out in terms of your reputation and authority. So how long have you been in business? Are you a member of any associations? Do you support any fundraising organizations? Or is there something that may potentially add extra credibility to you? And finally, affordability. Affordability is really not about being cheap. It's more about being affordable, which is where you can offer things like payment plans, various payment options. And I find that overall, if you focus too much on the price, that really creates quite a big problem. In fact, quite a lot of businesses enter this price battle, if you like, and as a result, you end up undercutting on price and don't really get the best customers always. So I really like to look at the AQUA principle in that order. Although when we started, we used to, have the first A address the affordability. I just found that a lot of the time when customers call the business, they don't really know what to ask. And as a result, all you end up talking about is the price. So if you reverse this process and actually carry out your conversation in this format of the AQUA principle, availability, convenience, utility, and affordability, you typically would engage them for long enough in order to explain exactly how your business is better than somebody else. I hope that helps. Now, make sure that you use concise language. Make sure that the things that you have on your website make sense to your target market. Don't be too scientific. Don't be too plain. Make sure that you use the right sort of words. And I think, right now with all the technology that we have, tools like Grammarly, you really shouldn't be having any grammatic mistakes or any errors when it comes to the choice of words. Adding a bit of emotion certainly helps. If there's a story and there's a bit of emotion that you can bring out, especially by having content on the website, really to reflect on your mission or purpose potentially, will really get some people connecting with you, because if you share the same values as your customer, you will find that a lot of people will do more business with you. The next point, I guess, is something that we find a lot of people really leave out, and which is really social proof, which is your testimonials, reviews, and all that sort of thing. Now, people want to work with businesses that they know have got a track record or a proof of concept, if you like. So they've done it before. They have got people happy about their service, and there's some specifics that people can relate to. The professionalism, the friendly team, how quick or prompt they were, or specifically, the sort of approach that they used, would really help a lot of people make their decision. You'll find that at this day and age, Google reviews make such a big impact overall when it comes to decision making, that people believe reading reviews from complete strangers in order to choose you from a sea of other service providers in order to make their decision. Now, finally, if you can add a bit of urgency or scarcity to your offer, if you've got one, that really helps people, take action, because there's always this fear of missing out, the FOMO, some people refer to it. The fear of missing out is really more about, hey, there's something that's available, it won't be available anymore, so I'm going to miss out. So if you put a limit as, let's say, how many customers you're going to put your offer out to, or potentially if there's going to be a deadline for your offer, that certainly makes things a lot more effective. Bear in mind that you do need to monitor this, because I do find a lot of websites where people put an offer up and then it hasn't been updated for a couple of years, which actually looks quite silly. So make sure that if you do have offers with urgency, or time-bound offers, that you do update and revisit those as well. Now, most importantly, be authentic. Make sure you're being yourself when you put out your marketing copy, and make sure that it is your process that you're actually promoting, as opposed to somebody else's. I've seen way too many marketing campaigns where the marketers would come along and create the best copies, the best offers, but it just doesn't connect to the actual business. Make sure that the actual offers and the marketing revolved around you, or the people that are basically servicing your customers. I think it's really important to make sure that there is this connection. In fact, with our digital marketing agency, we've built our process specifically around that. We found that by interviewing the customers and finding out their points of difference, finding out exactly what they do and the way they do it, and promoting that, has been one of the easiest way we could increase conversion rates. And purely because, if they're going to get the same number of calls, but the calls are more connected to the way people service, that works really well. And it's quite interesting. There are some lucrative ways a lot of people get their leads, and it really stands out quite well. So if you do find something that looks pretty good, but you're thinking, hey, I'm not going to do this, this sounds too risky, make sure you understand exactly what that is. What I'm specifically referring to is, we had one customer in the past offering conveyancing where they did a 10% quote bid guarantee. Now, a quote bid guarantee is a really easy way and a lucrative way to position yourself, because it feels like you're going to be the most affordable. But what this really requires is, it requires for a customer to obtain another quote from another person, which they often don't do. So really, they're not comparing anything to anyone. They're just basically taking action because they saw something that was really attractive and sounded very affordable. So make sure that you understand these little things and you understand how they work before going through with them. I mean, there are ways to enhance a business, but most importantly, I think it's about connecting your audience to the benefits within your business, and then making sure that you can, follow the AQUA principle in order to cover all those benefits for the customers. Now, if you're doing a lot of this, if you can get it right the first time, excellent. A lot of the time you need to test and measure things a little bit. So split testing comes in quite good when you're doing Google ads, or if you're doing landing pages and so on. So don't expect to get the results straight away. I mean, sometimes you got to tweak things a little bit. And it's great to see that some businesses really spend the time to fine tune their message and get the better result in the end. Make sure that you do have your tracking set up, though, that you can actually compare apples with apples, because sometimes the message will actually have people, calling a lot more as opposed to filling out forms and so on. So you do need to understand the call to action within the whole thing as well. Anyway, I thought I'd just cover this to give you some tips as to how to enhance your marketing message, because last thing you want to do is repeat exactly what your competitors are doing without understanding their strategy, or potentially missing on some of the key points as well, and just expect your business to perform. I mean, with the changes in the economy or changes in the market overall, sometimes things just don't work the same way, and you really got to make sure you can enhance things too. Finally, like if you're really looking for, other things that you could do to potentially get more inquiries come through, add a guarantee. If there's no guarantee on the service, but you're good at what you do, add a money back guarantee, add some sort of a guarantee that's going to really make you stand out. I do believe that this is going to be the way to get your phone ringing, because if no one else offers a guarantee on your services, or services similar to yours, that will definitely make you stand out. And it's really an easy way to cut through the fears, specifically when it comes to customers making that inquiry. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying this podcast. I'm trying to keep it short and concise. I do have some interesting guests coming up in the future. So if you enjoy the content, please make sure you subscribe. Comment below if you got any questions on this. And please share this with your friends, whichever platform they prefer to listen or watch these podcasts on. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Google, Apple, and you name it. We're pretty much everywhere. So once again, my name is Alexei. This is the Better Business Podcast, and I hope to speak to you soon.